Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Sick Podcast, Talking Titans. More videos to go through, so much more stuff we're seeing during these early camp sessions, and we're going to get into all of it and more as always. So, Sammy, start us up.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to the Sick Podcast. Talking Titans.
With the first pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Cameron Ward, quarterback, Miami.
The sickest Tennessee Titans podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Back at it, folks. Again, another edition of the Sick Podcast, Talking Titans, joined as always by my counterpart, Jarett. Jarett, how we doing today, my man?
What's going on, buddy? I had
Not
to change it up a little bit with the podcast. I got a brand new mic.
Yeah.
Trying to be like you up in the world, you know?
This mic might need an upgrade soon. I've had this since the Turnpike days, so we'll see. But for now, it's doing me well. But as always, guys, welcome on in. Another week's gone by, and I'll tell you, we were just talking about this before the show. It's kind of unfortunate because there's just so many awesome clips you're seeing of Cam gaining chemistry with these guys, especially our number one receiver in Calvin Ridley. And then, you think to yourself, well, we thought about lots of these same things about a year ago at this time. And we had a lot of the same feelings, and it wound up being a total disaster. So I don't know about you, Jarett, but it's tough for me to get super excited or as excited as I want to be going into the summer when, you just get a feeling of maybe this is going to be deja vu all over again. And I don't know if you're feeling the same way, but it's a tough thing to sleep on every night.
No, it is, because we're scorned Titan fans with the quarterback position, and we've talked about this all off season leading up to even Cam Ward not even being on this team. If we do draft him, that we don't want to be scorned with a quarterback like this. We're gonna root for him right now, but we don't want to get the hype like we did with Will Levis, especially me, saying, "Oh my God, it's Tom Brady." Yes, he's taking the wide receivers to Cabo, and they look great, and the chemistry, this, that, and that. But you know what? There's a different feeling. I'm still on that. He needs to prove me in a game. In September and October, I need to see it in a game. But right now, the leadership is a little different from last year with Will Levis versus Cam Ward. You see him now. There's reports with Brian Callahan saying that he's chirping back at Jeffrey Simmons. Jeffrey Simmons said he was going to chirp at him just to see if he can, be able to handle that. He gave it right back while Brian Callahan was calling a play in the huddle. Brian Callahan sitting there like, what the hell? And he reiterates the play when he was still talking to Jeffrey Simmons. So for him to comprehend things, like I said, quarterbacks need it here. For him to talk shit and get a play from Brian Callahan in his ear and then refer it to the huddle and execute the play, there's a whole different style quarterback with Cam Ward than Will Levis.
Yeah, I think it's obvious at this point, if nothing else, his level of comfortability this early on is already miles ahead of Levis. Mm-hmm. We've seen firsthand consistently this guy being able to roll out of pressure, something Levis hasn't done really, I think, at all up until this point. So there's boxes that he checks that are obviously, they should get you more excited. Levis was never going to be a number one overall type talent. He maybe cracked that top 3 range at some point, but obviously dropped tremendously. My point being, Cam Ward's done it at the highest level. He's been able to handle pressure at the highest level consistently. And those are the reasons why a lot of us should be excited. But it's just, like you said, we've been snake bitten so many times. I can go down the list. Some guys obviously higher drafted than others, which brought more excitement for obvious reasons. But so many guys, young quarterbacks, this franchise has hung their hat on and said, okay, take us away, do what you got to do. And they never have. And obviously, my biggest fear still to this point is that no matter who we get, unless they need zero coaching, we're not going to get the guy we need because, this organization cannot really, they haven't been able to groom a quarterback properly in 20 years. So if this guy doesn't need the type of coaching that's necessary to improve for a kid who needs coaching to improve, then we're good. And there's guys that are in the league that didn't need it since they were Daniels immediately, Bo Nix pretty much immediately, Stroud immediately. Burrow immediately. That you need that. Josh Allen wasn't immediately. He wasn't. But
he was somewhat of a project, even coming out of college.
yeah.
Where everyone didn't want to take him out of Wyoming. He didn't play less competition, but he had the body style, he had the arm, and he has a great coach up there and a coaching staff. And now I think Joe Kelly's the offensive coordinator. So he had a bunch of offensive coordinators to help him out with Sean McDermott too. So I mean, we have it in Brian Callahan. Guys were running wide open. We're just seeing as fans what's going on? Why are we going 3 and out? The offensive line was shit. Now you built the offensive line a little bit better around him. I'm saying a little bit better because I got snake bitten before last year too, saying this was going to be an improved offensive line. So I'm not saying, great things until I see it on the field, but everything looks on paper to be what we needed for a rookie quarterback to succeed in the NFL right now. Yeah. But going into it, like you said, like adversity, with these quarterbacks, with the starts, he had a lot of starts in college, and where Cam Ward, I think, is a difference maker from Will Levis is, like I said, he has it up here and he has that dog mentality in him where, he was down in a game against Cal. Okay, stormed right back on the field. He had a shit game, throwing interceptions. Fast forward now to the NFL, and those other games as well. With Miami, especially with Washington State. But now fast forward to practice, right? They have 7-on-7s. They're having live drills where he throws an interception right away to Cody Barton, and what does he do right after that? He goes 20 of 21, 14 of 14, 6 passes right up the middle to Restrepo. He guns one on a seam to Gunnar Helm. I mean, the guy is deadly. What I've been reading right now between Kayla, TD, Buck, and Jim, the guy is lethal in the middle of the field where we lacked that. Now, if you remember what Ryan Tannehill, he was pretty lethal in the middle of the field because he was leading the quarterbacks. I mean, leading the wide receivers like A.J. Brown and Corey Davis on slants and digs and posts and seams where the quarterback can lead the receiver and get yak. We've lacked that so much in the last 4 or 5 seasons where we finally can have a quarterback put the ball where it needs to be, where the playmakers can make plays down the field. That's where I'm saying that Cam Ward is going to be a huge difference maker. And what he's been doing in practice says it all right now.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, this kid, we don't have right now, at least I don't think, unless the new brass brought somebody in, we don't really have someone that can, or a staff that can develop a quarterback. Green Bay, they can develop quarterbacks. Kansas City, they can develop quarterbacks. Philadelphia, they can develop quarterbacks. The Titans historically have not been able to develop a quarterback. So it's going to come down to, is this kid built for week 1? Is he ready to go? Now, one thing I will say, which is unfortunate, but I feel the need to say it, that type of never harp on the pass kind of mentality, that was something Levis had coming into the league, unfortunately, because I don't want to take anything away from Cam, but that is something we talked about. I'm sure I was told, at least from my dad and others, that in Kentucky, there were plenty of games where they were down. He'd have a bad interception. In the next drive, he's throwing it down the field, doing good things. Now, again, we go back to level of competition, at least for the most part, different. So, it's much tougher to do the things Cam's doing against the level he's seeing rather than, if Kentucky was playing Marshall or whoever the hell they play. So we'll see how it goes. Everything's looking good in camp. The part about him being able to listen and talk at the same time, I sure as hell couldn't fucking do that. So to hear he's capable of it is pretty awesome. And I mean, everyone on the entire roster is drooling over this guy. And I think you couldn't really say that last year at this time about number 8. So, we're going to say
it's a swagger thing. It's like I said, when I coach, some kids, there's an it factor. Okay. It's whether you get it in 8th grade going into your freshman year for football, or you get it your sophomore year into junior year, or junior year into your senior year. There's that it factor. And Cam Ward looks like he's had this early on where he can handle poise, where he can handle situations. He can handle grown men in the huddle. Obviously, Jeffrey Simmons wanted to do it because he knows it's going to happen in the NFL. For him to give it back, that's tremendous. So there's a couple things. Obviously you read, and articles, everything all over the place. There's things that one of your favorite draft picks has been catching my eye for a while now with videos of Elic Ayomanor, or whatever, however you say his name. He's in there 5 a.m. with Restrepo and Gunnar Helm and the Cam Ward led 5 a.m. meetings. He's also the first one on the practice field with Tyler Lockett at the jugs machine. They spend a half hour every day. I'm reading that they're on the jugs machine. For him, this is, and people are saying he's like a Chris Godwin-esque. Again, I'm not doing player comps. I'm just reading what is being said right now. Okay. If we have him 5 times better than NWI, it's an absolute win. And like this off season is going to be an absolute win because we're developing our guys, which they wanted to do this whole off season, this whole new regime where we're not bringing guys in, we're developing this talent. And then you have DK, you have Ayomanor. Now you have the guy that keeps turning heads, like we keep saying, is Restrepo. I'm reading it again right before the show, and right now he's 3 for 3 on slants again. That right there is a marriage that this guy is definitely making the team. So Treylon Burks is on the out. Whether him or Van Jefferson, they're on the out. These young wide receivers now, they're developing chemistry with the number 1 overall pick in our quarterback. Some of these guys are in trouble, and these guys keep making plays. The future is very bright for this offense.
Yeah, I mean, listen, now you got to think about, Van Jefferson, I'll tell you, for one, he looks like he's a strong MFer, man. So his statistics show you nothing to get excited about, but looking at him in camp, he looks like he's built almost the same as Treylon Burks. I might have to look at both of their size and weight. I'm sure Treylon's heavier, but yeah. Is Restrepo going to make the team? It seems incredibly likely considering how, the whole organization is bowing at Cam's feet as they should. And if he's going to have any role as far as special teams, of course, he's got the mentality that you want. You've seen it, you know it. He's all in. He wants to be here. He wants to stay here. So I wouldn't see any reason for Restrepo not making it. But as far as Treylon Burks, I mean, obviously none of us care anymore. It's a dead subject to most. We've seen him make incredible plays, but the guy can't even run a freaking, curl route without pulling his hamstring. So nothing really matters at that point. I don't know. I feel like they're still going to try to get him on the roster, though, if he's healthy, though.
No way. No shot.
We'll see. But Ayomanor and the kid from Florida, I mean, they need to be DK. They need to be impactful. I said it last week. I'll say it again. If this team's going to have any chance to be competitive, you're not going to rely on Lockett and Ridley. You can pray to God both of them are going to make it throughout the whole year, but it's very unlikely. So you need to have some guys to lean on and some guys that are better than Nick Westbrook-Akine. So I'll be interested to see if it's DK or Ayomanor that takes the stride first as far as guys you'll see getting targeted more than the other.
I would say Restrepo too. Don't leave him out there because he can jump right to number 3.
I think it's going to be really tough for him to just immediately get time, but we'll see. I won't be upset about it. And I think, like I said, this preseason is going to be really important for the way this team's going to look.
Yep.
I think this year there's so many opportunities that might not have been available the last couple of years, even though they probably should have. But people are going to have a chance to take a giant step forward, and we'll see who they are. The tight end position is something to really look into. I'm sure Chig's going to get a lot of time in the preseason, man, because they got to decide who they're going to lean on more. I mean, obviously both guys serve different purposes based on, frame, but I don't know if they're going to be doing multiple tight end sets. I don't know what their game plan is for this season and this kid. So if they're not doing a lot of multiple tight end sets, somebody's going to be the odd man out. Someone's not going to be playing a lot. And everyone says that the kid from Texas is wowing everyone. So we'll see. I don't know.
Very athletic. There's another thing that came out. Obviously, you've seen these pictures now. You're seeing Jeffrey Simmons talk on the mic. Obviously, he's down 21 pounds, I think he is. He looks a lot skinnier. I saw a picture today, and it's like, damn, for him now possibly coming off the edge, even lighter and slimmer, and maybe a little more bendable. That's something to look at. And obviously, we saw J.C. Latham drop 30 pounds or whatever, and he's what I'm reading. It packs another punch. He's back at the right tackle position. He's looking really good. So, I mean, we got a lot of good guys that are taking care of their bodies, so to say, on the offseason, and really, really taking into what the coaching staff and that culture is where that change is now. So hopefully, we got a bright thing going on right now. So
I'll tell you who hasn't lost any weight since last season. That's Devondre Sweat.
Oh, we don't need him to. We need his anchor down.
We don't need him to. But
he did though. I think he's down 15 pounds. They said.
All right. So what? He's 440 pounds instead of 455.
All right. Yep.
No, it was funny. I don't know if it was Tehran or it was Jim White. Somebody asked him a question. about what he's been doing to get in shape. He's like, yeah, I worked a lot on my shoulders this offseason because he certainly couldn't say he worked on anything else. At least, wouldn't be noticeable. But yeah, Tavondre's in a good place here. We've already said multiple times he's outperformed expectations by a lot. He should be a guy that we're very dependent on moving forward. And I think he will get better as the years go on. So it's good. Simmons off the edge, sure. That's still a humongous question mark, which we're not talking about. I think we're all just hoping for the best.
I think it's still early too. There's going to be a lot of cuts. You saw the linebacker from the Bengals get cut. You may have like a little training camp cut. The roster cut. To cut down to the end of the year to 53.
There's no TJ Watt sitting around.
No,
that's the thing.
No,
and,
absolutely
not. So, and we have almost zero pass rush right now. Now, of course, me, you, and I'm sure many people are very excited about the idea of Mr. From UCLA, Femi Oladipo, something along those lines. I think that's pretty close. Yeah, he looks like someone. He looks like Lawrence Taylor right now, walking around minicamp. But we'll see. We've seen other guys look really good physically that haven't really panned out. So there's options. There's things that might work, but we're really thin at edge. So if Simmons is slim enough where they might throw him on the edge, who knows? It's never happened ever, pretty much. That would be great. Hell, more the merrier. And we get some more talent in the middle. Maybe we start doing lots of packages with Jeff on the side, and that opens lots of things up. You can get Simmons on the edge. So we'll see. But Denard Wilson, I'm excited to see what he's got in the bag.
Oh, of course. Speaking of Denard Wilson, one of his guys, that's what I was going to ask you. Do you feel any concern that there's no Ladarius Sneed sighting so far in camp? I know he had a problem this offseason. I don't know, if that's resolved or not, but is that any concern that he's not on the field or with the team right now?
I mean, there should be. Honestly, there should be. The guy arguably checked out last year. Yeah, I'm sure the injury was enough to sideline him, but he sure didn't seem very eager to get back out there. So the fact that he's, kind of nowhere to be found now should be something of a concern. I mean, he was a guy that was just chirping up a lot last offseason. And even when he was playing, he wasn't really worth the check we gave him. So I said, listen, I know we have a lot of money invested in Sneed, but Jair Alexander, man, he's going somewhere, and he's going to help someone's defense get a lot better very quickly. And I don't know if he'd be willing to do a 1 year show you what you missed type of deal, but he'd be a nice guy to have out there in the backfield.
Of course, especially on the other side of Sneed, but you have Browning Jr. too. But I don't see that happening. I just like those guys like that we invest money in, like Sneed, and you got a draft capital with a 3rd round pick, and those guys aren't out there, and they're supposed to be leaders, especially on the defense. A Denard Wilson led defense. I mean, to me, it's a tad bit concerning. I want to see how it goes, for the next mini camp and even in training camp. So we'll see. But yes, for me, I think that is a little bit of a concern, because you want to see that cohesiveness right now as a unit, even though he was there part of the time last year. But
I want to ask a question for everyone that's watching. Feel free, if you hear it, to comment in the comment section what you think. Who is the best Titans? I could say ever free agent signing, but I think most people, if I said offense, you would say probably Delaney Walker, but which is crazy that's probably the answer. But let's just go defense. What's the best Titans defensive free agent we ever got? We're pretty terrible bringing in defensive free agents, especially with a price tag. So it's like, that's just to your point. They might just have no chance to ever do it. Like, they got to just build all their defensive players for the draft. If anyone wants to give me, at least in let's just say the last 10 years, what was the best defensive free agent that we brought in? And I mean, for somewhat of a hefty price tag.
You can say, and people are going to flood the comments too with this, hopefully. But you can say a Bud Dupree type player, but he wasn't really over the course of time. That's what I'm saying.
He was bad.
That's what I'm saying. But no, he was situationally good, but I'm saying not the best. But like you have Snead, you have him. Off the top of my head, I mean,
there's none.
Shit. Yeah.
I'm saying there's been no consistent, impactful defensive free agents that this team's brought in. So, there's just something, history usually repeats itself. It's an eye-opening thing when you think about it. And again, this is another new regime. So we got to hope that this maybe, since we brought a guy in from a team that is, if not the best, one of the best scouting teams in the league. And he did a lot of that there. So we'll see. Like I said, we got positions we needed pretty much up and down the line, with the exception of edge. But again, if Olajejio is going to be an edge guy, which I think he is, then they did address that. But short list, man. Defensive free agents, this team, there's been a lot of busts, right?
Oh, of course. No, I definitely agree with you on that. I'm just trying to run. I'm trying to run really quick through my head. It is tough. And after the show, I know I'm going to probably
Logan Ryan.
Yeah, possibly.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, he was pretty good for a long time at this team.
Yeah.
But the list is short. Very short.
Yeah, I can't stare on a camera and keep thinking about it because
I know
you are damn right, because it is short, and Delaney Walker is probably one of the other ones as well.
Yeah,
it's just.
But overall, we're horrible with free agent signings.
They try to bring these guys in, but it never just pans out. Whether it doesn't fit in the system or not. Hopefully, like I said, now we're bringing these guys in. Hopefully, it's a change in culture and a change in recipe where these guys, instead of fitting them into what the coaches want, they actually let them play their natural position and let them ball out.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the biggest thing.
We don't have any fucking Saquon Barkley type situations where we get a guy at their prime and they continue to fucking act like they're in their prime. Like, we've given it shots to Javian Clowney. Dude, I laugh about how excited that day was.
Oh my God.
Thought we brought in Jesus Christ to be on the edge, and he was horrific.
Yep.
Sammy brings up a great point, which is absolutely the right answer. Brian Orakpo.
Yep.
In the last 20 years, he is the best defensive free agent we've ever brought in. So, Sammy, thank you very much. That's hands down the right answer. So, and that's sad because can you remember a big play Brian Orakpo made?
No. And that's what I'm saying. That's why the only reason why I brought in Bud Dupree is because he was on that team where we had 9 sacks with against the Bengals at home. And that was, I think we were leading the league in sacks that year. We had like 60-something sacks where it was just a sack fest. Where he didn't get it, Harold Landry got it, then Jeffrey Simmons got in there. I mean, that's where we have to get back to. We have to get 2 prominent edges, and you have to build the interior where we have interior help. Now we're just lacking on the outside, and hopefully Femi and then whoever else, we develop, in the future or we get, in free agency or a roster cut at the end of the year helps a little bit with this defense a little bit, or somebody steps up because we don't know.
Yeah. Well, time will tell, but we're going to need somebody to step up on the edge, or we need Jeff to lose about another 15 to 20 pounds.
Again.
Yeah. So we'll see how that shapes up, but I got full faith in Denard. Started out much better than he finished, but I think overall he's the guy that at least deserves to stick around for a little bit longer from that last year's squad. So moving on, let's do one of my favorite segments, even though I forgot till the very end to send mine in this week. But
we need an intro for this too, by the way.
Yeah,
we
do.
We need a sponsor for this segment too as well. I mean, purely if I'm drinking you right now. So if you want to try to sponsor us with that, that's a little plug.
I drink about 6 gallons a week of that, so that would be nice of them. All right, so I think I started last week, so you can start this week and see. All
right, I'm gonna give you one where I'm gonna give you a little hint before you even go. Okay. Once you see it, you're gonna know what side. It's a defensive player, defensive/special teams player who's on the team for about 7 years. Go ahead, Sam.
I better get this one then. Oh fuck. Damn.
Defense and special teams. One of the better special teams guys we've had in a long time as well.
I'm not gonna go the initial route because then I'm gonna get it, but I might have to.
I got your face this time and a clear number.
Yeah, you did. He was a defensive back.
Yeah.
You gotta give me the initials.
VF.
VF? Oh,
Mhm.
I'm still not gonna get it.
Yikes.
I'm still not gonna get it. VF.
You need it?
Yeah, you gotta piss me off now and tell me.
Vincent Fuller.
Vincent Fuller?
My man had
That's
6.
Vincent Fuller?
Yeah, my man had 6 interceptions, was a special teams gamer for us, and he made some big plays for us in his years. In his 7 years with the Titans.
He played from what, like 06 to 13 or something?
Somewhere in that realm, yeah.
Yeah. That was that was still in the thick of things there, but
Stumped us out. But he was a good one.
that's okay. This one's definitely stumping you. Absolutely stumping you.
I love it though.
He didn't play 7 years either, but it's a name.
At least he didn't play 3 games. Don't give me. You got to play 3 games.
When did I do that?
Oh, I'm just saying. Don't do it.
No. He played like 30. He played like 30.
All right. Ooh, that's not Justin McCarron's, is it?
Nope.
Whew. That looks like Craig Stevens behind him almost. So I'm trying to get the year in.
He played 27 games, 4 touchdowns, special teams guy too, I believe. 2003 to 2005.
2003 to 2005. You're gonna get me on this one.
It's a name it's a name I'm sure you remember though. You said if you want the initials, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, give me the initials.
TC.
Tyrone Calico.
There you go. See,
damn,
you still beat me because I didn't get the fucking initials. And I
didn't. I listen. I really didn't. Maybe I need to see his helmet off. I don't know, but the 87.
I wouldn't have got it.
I would have never got it.
You gave this to me. I would not have.
I would have.
Helmet on or off. I would not have
initials.
Remembered what it looked like.
Initials. Net. Yeah, that was a good one. We had 2 good ones this week. I already have next week's. You're probably going to get next week's, but I have that in mind already. So
okay, good. Yeah, no, I think we're going to wrap up today. This felt really quick. We're almost on 30 minutes. So, as always, guys, please make sure to like, follow, subscribe. If you made it to this point and you're not subbed, please, it takes a click of the button. So, the more the merrier. We're trying to keep continuing to build, and we're almost at 2,000 subs. So, if you don't mind, if you're not doing it already, make sure you do that now. And that's it, guys. We'll keep you up to date on the socials, as always, what's all happening throughout the week and throughout the months with camp going on and so on and so forth. So, anything else you want to throw out there, Jarett, before we pack it up?
Nah, man, I'm good. I'm going to be locked into Twitter again. I'm going to read all these articles, see how this team works out, and hopefully Cam Ward keeps talking shit to this defense and proving everybody wrong.
Yeah, no, he should be talking shit to everyone on this fucking team because they were the worst team in the league not so long ago, and hopefully they're not this year. So hope everyone has a great rest of their week. As always, we will see you next week. And Sammy, you can send us out.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Talking Titans on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.